So in my last videos, I was talking about how I think it would be really cool if there was Dark Souls maps in Night Rain instead of only bosses. And since then, I ended up entering this really big rabbit hole that led me to creating this map converter that allows for converting Dark Souls maps to Elden Ring and Night Rain. It's been basically just a bunch of coding, and this is the Forest of Fallen Giants, although not really recognizable from this angle, right? From Dark Souls 2. So let me just go ahead and turn on Cheat Engine so I can float around and show you guys the map. Alright, we are already no clipping, and now I'll walk around the Forest of Fallen Giants so to show the current state of the map conversion, to show how things are going. Well, this is not the best angle to show the inside of the tunnel, but the inside of the tunnel is just fine. As it happens, the outside of the tunnel is like this because this is not supposed to be seen in game, so it doesn't even have a texture. And but the reason I turned on no clip is not just so I can show you guys around how the map is, but because currently my map conversion is not converting the collisions, right? So there is no collision on the map whatsoever, so this is why we have to turn on no clip. But this is the next step. As you can see here, this is the little river of Forest of Fallen Giants, clipping in the ocean of the original map, of course, but the conversion is practically one-to-one. You can definitely see these map pieces disappearing around, and this is because of bounding boxes. It's not hard to fix at all. Maybe increase in 10% bounding boxes or something like this, but not everything can be automated, so we might have to fix these little things manually on Smithbox or something. But ideally, when my conversion 2 is in a very mature phase, this will be also automatically solved. So as I go walking through the Forest of Fallen Giants with these little disappearing assets, I will answer the question, which is why Dark Souls 2 and Night Rain? Like, why Night Rain and not base Elden Ring? So as I've said at the start of the video, I think Night Rain should have more Dark Souls maps or Dark Souls inspired maps, but this is not the main reason why I chose Night Rain. The main reason is basically because of compatibility. So Dark Souls 2 to Night Rain is basically the worst compatibility case to solve. So you can see where I'm going with this. By solving Dark Souls 2 and Night Rain first, the rest follows. And Night Rain, being at the bleeding edge of From Software's software, has still a lot to be uncovered. A lot of things that I had to reverse engineer in order to find, like MSB version and this kind of stuff. So this is like, these are like some small details that are not 100% accurate still in Souls formats next. So yeah, basically by having this solved, the rest of the compatibility issues will be easy peasy. We found another texture issue, by the way. We will find a lot of those when exploring the map. This is all to be solved. Like, there will be a lot of these small details that, like edge cases that didn't get handled really well. This wasn't actually the main thing that I wanted to show in this video. I could like roam in the converted Forest of Fallen Giants like forever, but the most interesting part about the map converter that I'm building is that it converts whole maps automatically. and I will show what I'm talking about here. So if we take Majula as an example, that it's a map relatively close to Forest of Fallen Giants, actually really close to Forest of Fallen Giants. I just gotta change some little numbers in here. These first two numbers is the ones I just used to organize myself, and this one is the actual map, Majula 1004. And note that I'm using the FLT as compression, and this is because I did not unravel Udon 9 completely yet, so it's easier for now to use the FLT. And now I'll just run the conversion, and it's now converting Majula from DS2 to Elden Ring Night Ring. So I'll just cut this part and we'll get back once the conversion is finished. Alright, the conversion is finished, and I want you guys to take a look at these failed conversion, like these converted assets. These are actually assets that are not referenced in Dark Souls 2's MSB. So this is basically cut content. So as you can see, Majula by itself already had all of those map pieces as cut content, and I chose not to convert them because I actually created a flag for this. I created the unref flag, and this would include the cut assets into the conversion as well. I can actually make an entire other video about map pieces that were removed from Dark Souls 2, because there's a lot to talk about. It's like hundreds of map pieces that got removed from the game. And here it is, freshly converted Majula. As you can see, this is Majula on Night Ring already. This is Night Ring's Smith box. And every now and then there is a bug that happens on Smithbox that I call the non-deterministic behavior bug, and I'll let you guys know once I see it, because it's really noticeable, but it does not reflect what happens in game. Now the coolest part of this is if I load up Roundtable Hold over here, that it's where I put it, all of the Forest of Fallen Giants assets. You can see that everything is exactly where it should be. And well, speaking of the devil, this is the non-deterministic bug, but it doesn't reflect what happens in game, so it's smart to just ignore this, because I've spent weeks investigating what's causing this and I haven't found it, so I just decided to ignore it because it only happens on Smithbox. Like in game, it's everything just normal. Well, now I'll just copy Majula's assets to the Roundtable Hold as well. And now it's as easy as just saving the Roundtable Hold. And I don't have to change anything else or tweak anything else, and that's basically it. So now let's just open the game and check it out. And here it is. You can now notice like Majula assets clipping around in the Roundtable Hold. And of course, as always, we always have more texture problems to solve, because there's still a really long way for this to be like, let's say 100% like cool ready. Let's put it that way. So it looks like the main problem we get going around here in Majula is the tiling, and this is something really easy to fix. Actually, it's just about changing the material binary, or like finding the correct mapping to put in here. But what's like the most mind-blowing thing for me is that the location of the converted Majula actually matches perfectly the location of the Forest of Fallen Giants. They are basically one-to-one to what they are in game. You can see that the tunnel links the forest and Majula exactly where it should. So the maps are being converted with the same exact location they had in game to here. So that's pretty cool. And the reason you guys are seeing like lots of floating trees in what appears to be random locations is that this is Majula's distant lot that is being loaded when we come to the Forest of Fallen Giants. So this is more bounding boxes to fix maybe, but this is something that has to be implemented manually, because however you might use the map, you gotta change if the distant lot is rendering based on the location you want it to. This is where the bonfire should be, and well, curiously the texture in here looks to have the correct tiling. So yeah, it's much more detailed than the rest of the messed up tiling in Majula. And this is the obelisk, and overall everything is where it is supposed to be, so this is a good sign. And of course everything is just clipping around because we just throw this on roundtable hold just to show the results. Well, the skybox is also black, as you can see, but this is just a matter of nailing the matte bin of the skybox, like getting something that does not interact with light would be ideal. I believe skyboxes don't interact by light by default, as far as I'm aware this is. So the next step in here in the map conversion is collision, like converting low collisions, high collisions, and nav meshes. And when I'm done converting the collisions, which will probably take some time, I will go back to textures to like fix some little texture details and fix all the other bugs that you guys have seen in this video. But that's basically, I am working on this map conversion too for several weeks already, and I didn't thought that I would get this far, so I am very happy with the result overall, but it's still very far from perfect. So if you want to support the map conversion project, where the overall objective is to be able to convert maps from Dark Souls Trilogy to Elden Ring and Night Ring. So if you want to support the project, I would be more than happy if you buy me a coffee on Ko-Fi or something, or subscribe to my Patreon, because I will be posting lots of stuff in there. But thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in the next video, I guess.